Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Just a minute. All right. All right. Let's get started. Can y'all see me? How's everybody doing? Y'all good? Um, I want to say thank you again to everybody that participated, all the anybody that planned, participated, helped, ideated, created, whatever it is you did to make my birthday event special. I want to tell you thank you. It was very, very thoughtful. I was fighting tears all night. Y'all know I'm a big crybaby. Um, but when I think about um, and my reason for tears is I was thinking like, man, these people decided to do something nice for me, and I live one of the mantras I live by. I guess you call it a hackadism, is that people don't have to be nice to you. You have to love folks in order to get to heaven, but people don't have to be nice to you. And so I appreciate y'all's niceness. I appreciate other things y'all do out of kindness, out of love, out of consideration, out of respect. I do not take it for granted. I really, really don't, because I'm aware that people don't have to be nice to me. And so thank you all. I appreciate whatever you did, whatever amount of energy you expended, whatever amount of money you spent, whatever amount of time you spent. You didn't have to do it, and you decided to do it. You thought enough of me to decide to do something. So thank you, and to all of you that planned and did it. Thank you. Job well done. In life, when we do things, um, me, you, everybody, they never, ever, ever turn out the way we plan. It's just that's just not how it happens. They never turn out how we plan. But I really believe that God takes our intentions and He blesses our intention when our heart is right. We always want to do better and better and better, but God blesses our intention when our heart is right. And last night I felt the heart, and so I appreciate you all. I don't ever want you to think that I take your kindness for granted, because I don't. Those of you that traveled, thank you for considering me important enough that you would interrupt your schedules and leave your homes to come. Thank you to those that thought about what I wanted. And for y'all to get that vibe board is a big deal. There are I can't think of anything that I've wanted and didn't just go get for myself. Um, but the vibe board is something that I wanted. I don't need it, but I wanted it. And I was like, well, it's kind of like a toy, and I probably shouldn't be buying toys right now because of all the serious things I have to deal with. Um, well, to me, I know it's not actually a toy, very expensive toy, but I can live without it. But and if I had it, so for y'all to do that for me is really thoughtful. Thank you, and I pray that God forgive all of you that lied to keep the secret. You know, when I think back of some of these conversations I've had, I'm wondering if y'all were fishing. And I'm thinking about Anthony in specific. I don't know how many lies he told me in order to keep y'all secret a secret. But I'm sure I believe God forgive you. I think the blood will cover those white lies for surprises. But anyway, that's that. Did anybody have anything you wanted to say or share or ask before we go into today's lesson?
Well, Apostle, I'm so happy that I'm not a liar. I'm so happy you don't come to me because they wouldn't like me probably. But I can't but I can't hold a secret though.
Okay, okie dokie. That's good. All you that hold anointed for secret, anointed to hold a secret. Thank God for you. Some folks just have to lie. Dr. Lacey, she just can't lie. She just can't. She like, just don't ask me. 'Cause she gonna say, she gonna tell me. Just Joseph, don't ask me. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? All right. And for those of you that are in town, um if y'all are leaving today, if you wanted to catch brunch sometime before you left, then that's fine. I'd be glad to join you. I'd be honored if I could just eat with you before you leave. It's apart from the big crowd, apart from the everybodyness of it all. If you wanted to just get together, we can sit and dine before you leave. Just let me know. All right. Okay. Let's get anybody else, anything else? Okay. Let's get started. I want you to turn your Bible to our first scripture is Joshua chapter 3. Joshua chapter 3, verse 4.
Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure, some not near unto it, that ye may know the way by which ye must go, for ye have not passed this way heretofore.
Um, because you've never been this way before. There is an adjustment that you have to make when you've never been this way before. There are changes that must be made when you've never been this way before. There are ideas that have to be replaced with new ideas when you've never been this way before. Mindsets that have to be shifted when you've never been this way before. Here, God is talking to them, and Joshua is saying, giving God's message to the people. People, the folks have a history, and they mastered Egypt. They succeeded. They even though they never even though they didn't build huge houses in Egypt, they built what Egypt lived on. They succeeded in that bondage. So when you look at your bondage and you look at what you went through, some people look at it and see failure. But if you endured your bondage, you succeeded. If you endured your bondage and got out, that means you successfully endured hardness as a good soldier. You successfully dealt with tragedy and tribulation. You successfully did it, and you successfully exited. And when you exited, you left with all of your lessons. You left with all your wisdom. You left with all your knowledge. That was not a waste of time. It was not a waste of money. It was not a waste of your years. You exited it with everything that God wanted you to have. And the thing that God wanted you to have was that experience, so that because the Bible says through tribulation we learn the kingdom. So instead of cursing your trials and tribulation, instead of cursing all the bad things and God remove the bad things and don't let any bad thing happen and all the bad things are bad. Well, maybe just maybe some of those bad things were designed to refine your character. Maybe they were designed to pull out tenacity. Maybe they were designed to bring you to another level of thinking, another level of insight, another level of operation, another level of foresight, another level of reasoning. Maybe when you walked into it, you were immature, and when you came out of it, you were more mature. So then the objective of that thing was not to destroy you, but to develop you. So now, when we think about all the things we've been through and the people that may have offended us, we cannot hate them because they were instruments. Even if they were enemies, they were the footstools upon which we stood on to get the next box of cereal, the next can of, the next bag of grits, or the next can of greens. When we stand on these enemies that become footstools, are not so that you can crush them, but so that they can elevate you. God, and you have to know that even the enemies that you've experienced enemy behavior from, even those people are God's people too. They are God's children too. It's not like you and I are the only God's children. All of us are God's children. And when he made your enemies to be at peace with you, and he made your enemies your footstool, that was not to crush your enemy. It was so that your enemy could participate in your development. God is masterfully growing everybody at
Yes, Lord.
the same time. He's developing everybody. And while he's showing you your flaws and your strengths, he's showing the other person their flaws and their strengths. So when you look back over your life and
Mhm.
you see all the things that God has done for you, Dorinda Clark said, when I look back over my life and I see all the things the Lord has done for me,
Mhm.
when your soul is crying out hallelujah, it is not just hallelujah because he saved you. It is also hallelujah because he saved your enemy and taught them a lesson. He was such a God that he didn't have to destroy anybody in order to develop you.
Thank you, Lord.
When we move forward and you think about Joshua and Joshua giving this godly message to the children of Israel, he's saying to them, you've never been this way before. You've never had to deal with what you are about to deal with. Also, you've never been this way before. You have never encountered what you're about to encounter. You've never been this way before. Also, you have not had what you're about to have. You've never been this way before. You have not managed what you're about to manage. You've never been this way before. You have not been blessed in the way that you're about to be blessed. You've never been this way before. You have not grown in the way that you're about to grow. You've never been this way before. You have not expanded in the way that you're about to expand. You've never been this way before. You've
Hallelujah.
never stretched out in the way that you're about to stretch out. You've never been this way before. You've never grown muscles in the places you're about to grow muscles. You've never been this way before. You've never known the things that you're about to know. You've never been this way before. You've never seen the things that you're about to see. You've never been this way before. You've never had what you're about to have. You never touched what you're about to touch. You never walked where you're about to walk. You never blessed what you're about to bless. You never received what you're about to receive. You never stepped where you're about to step. You never jumped like you're about to jump. You never smiled like you're about to smile. You've never been as happy as you're about to be. You've never been as glad as you're about to be. You've never been this way before. So we're going to have to change behaviors.
Mhm, mhm.
Why? Because you have never been this way before. I know you're 30 years old. I know you're 40 years old. I know you're 50, 60, 70. You're 133 years old, but the Bible says you've never been this way before. So I need you to adjust your behavior. I need you to do something differently. I need you to change your approach. Why I got to change my approach? Because you've never been this way before. Turn to St. John chapter 4. God will always prepare his people with clear instructions when they enter unfamiliar territory. I'm telling you that the territory you are about to enter is unfamiliar. It's not unfamiliar because it's strange. It feels strange because it's unfamiliar. And the familiarity comes because you've already known something. Um, because it's new, it seems strange. Because it's new, it seems, and it is different. Because it's new, it has a weird taste. Because it's new, you don't know how to handle it. Now, the world changes every 5 years, and because of technology, time is actually speeding up. But it's not only that the world is changing, um, the systems are changing.
Yeah.
And with the advent of AI, now AI has been around forever, but with the advent of AI, the way that things are done is changing. Now, I'm not talking about just you deciding to use ChatGPT or not deciding to use ChatGPT. I'm not thinking that on that level of basicness. I'm saying that the whole world around you is changing because of the advent of AI. I'm not talking about the AI that you choose to use. I'm including the AI that runs our systems. For example, when you call your credit card company, and they ask you to tell them your last four digits of your social security number or your account number, and it's the machine that's interpreting what you say. That's artificial intelligence. You didn't choose to use it. It chose you. It moved and you hadn't moved. My son told me that in his classes at James Madison University, that one of his classes told them that he can use um, ChatGPT for his schoolwork. Um, and Dr. Jordan, I remember she told me that the faculty at her college had been discussing should they or should they not. And I believe her perspective was they're going to use it anyway, so you might as well work with it. Um, we when Eris decided to make some cookies for school, and she said she doesn't even like cookies. I said, well, why you make cookies? She said, because I like money and people like cookies. I said, okay, all right. And so this is what she said. She said, I asked them, because I asked how she came with it. She said, I asked them if I made cookies, would y'all buy them? And they said yes. And so I thought about what cookies they would like, and I made them, and I sold it to them. And she made $100 the first day that she did it. And then she came back and she refined it and did it again. Well, when she was coming up with flavors, she went to ChatGPT and asked, what flavors would people like? And so she came up with a red velvet Oreo cookie, um, a fruity pebble cookie, a Lucky Charm cookie, and a chocolate chip cookie. And she followed the instructions and made them. She is not a chef. She is not a baker. I never ever told her how to make cookies. In fact, when we went to the store to get the stuff to get cookies, I thought we were going to get a tube of Pillsbury chocolate chip cookie dough, and she could just take a spoon and drop it on the cookie pan. But no, we went to the aisle and she got cake mix and needed baking powder and all kind of stuff. I'm like, what kind of cookies are you making? We went to the cereal aisle, and then we got all this stuff. And here she is. She produced cookies and sold them and made money from it. So here she is, a person not knowing how to make cookies, not knowing how to prepare this thing. And she goes from not making cookies and not knowing how to knowing how to make cookies, making cookies, and selling them in a span of 12 hours. She transformed in 12 hours. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? And now she knows what she never knew before. She did what she had never done before. She employed a system. She used artificial intelligence to teach her a system, and she did it one time. And after she did it one time, she said, I like this. And then she went back and refined it and did it again. Now, when she wants money, she doesn't have to ask me. She has a new, do y'all get it? Her old system was when I need money, I ask Papa. Her new system is when I need money, I make cookies. Oh Lord, I hope y'all are getting it. I really hope you're getting it. I hope you're getting it. Not only does her new system say, when I need money, I make cookies, her new system, if we take it a step farther, says, her new system says, when I need money, I can come up with a way to make money. There are some people. There are some people. I was watching what was it? I wasn't watching. I was listening to Judge Mathis. I was listening to Judge Mathis. And there was a daughter that was suing her mother. She was suing her mother for college tuition because when they were doing enrollment, the daughter didn't have the money for college. The mom had never been there for. Grandma had raised her. Um, but the daughter was going to college. She was going in the same city where mom was. And mom had been a prostitute and a pimp. Daughter was enrolling in school and didn't have the money. And so part of the financial aid package was a loan. And so the daughter was suing the mom because the mom told her, get the loan and I'll pay for it. But the mom didn't pay for it. In the case, the mom was talking about their history together. And mom was saying, I've been hoeing all my life. she should try it. She'll get some money. And so Judge Mathis, of course, he was, he was trying to squelch it and turn it and show her the error of her ways. And she was like, no, she said to make good money. It's the oldest profession in the world. It was in the Bible. I mean, you can tell she'd heard and said all this before. Um, and so the judge was like, well, if what was going on that business must not have been too good if she had to borrow money from you and you didn't have it at the time. A pimp's supposed to just peel that off, ain't they? And she was like, yeah. She said, I wasn't doing what I was doing at the time, but I'm back now. He said, oh, you working now? He said, I'm working my job. And so here he is talking to her, and he's trying to talk bad about her system, and she doesn't think her system is bad. Everything that the judge said to her that suggested that she was not good at what she did, that she was not being a good example, that she should choose a different profession. Every time the judge said something to her, she was bobbing and weaving. She was like, nah, dog, this is what I do, and I'm good at it. The judge asked her, he said, do you have a job now? She said, no. He said, well, how do you make money? She said, because I have friends that care about me. He said, like who? She said, doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs. He said, what do they do for you? She said, they do what they have to do. So I can do what I want to do. I mean, she had an answer for everything. The judge was saying to her, your system is bad. And she was saying to him, my system works for me. Now listen, y'all, if people can choose demonic systems to make money, to live life, to secure the bag, to do what they do, to be okay. If they can choose demonic systems and feel okay with it, why can't you select a godly system and be okay with it and say to the world, I don't do that because that's not part of my system. I don't say that. That's not part of my system. I don't operate that way. That's not part of my system. I don't do that. This is my system. So many times I've seen people try to do things the kingdom way. And when it doesn't work out the way they want it to work out, the first time, what do you think they do? They go back to their old systems. Israel came out of Egypt, and one of the main complaints, because they were now in the wilderness, they complained about the wilderness, and they said life would have been better if you had left us in Egypt. They know life would not have been better in Egypt. What they were saying is life would have been better if you'd have left us with our old systems. By now, you all should be able to finish my sentences. If you're getting it, you should be able to finish my sentences, and I want you to. Israel's complaint was not, I don't like this new place. Israel's complaint was, I don't like this new
System.
system. And they didn't, they not liked it, not because it was a bad system. They not liked it because they had never been this way before. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
We celebrate deliverance and God bringing us out, bringing us into a new place, expanding us, enlarging us. Well, the responsibility to that enlargement is now that I'm in a new place, I must learn
New things.
new things, a new system.
System.
And part of the frustration is not, this ain't working.
Mhm.
The problem, the frustration is, I have not yet mastered this new system. Um, I'm working on some grants for $100 million each. And
Right.
there are cities that are my clients, and there are individuals that are my clients, and it's the same document.
Mhm.
I was in a meeting um, with the city. The city said, okay, just send us what you need and we'll send it over. I was in a meeting with individuals.
Mhm.
The meeting was like 2 hours. And they said, well, I'm getting overwhelmed. I don't understand this. What do we do with this? What do we do with that? Where do we go with this? How do we handle that? Blah blah blah. The different responses were simply because one entity was accustomed to the system,
Mm-hmm.
the other was not accustomed to the system.
Mm-hmm.
And so what looked confusing was not really confusing. It was just a new system. And so they asked questions. And there was one guy, one individual that, he said he's been waiting for me to mentor him. He's been waiting for him to be able to afford one of my programs, and he signed up for this, and so we're working on it. And he got overwhelmed and he acted out. And I told him, I said, I don't tolerate this. I said, if you do this again, I'm going to refund your money and you'll never be able to work with me again. You won't be able to buy any of my products. I'll block you from everything because we don't behave like this. If you get overwhelmed, you're supposed to ask questions. You're supposed when you have a mentorship, you're supposed to ask questions. You're not supposed to spaz out, and you're not allowed to deal with me aggressively. And so he apologized, and then I used it as an example to the group. And I said to the group, first I said to the person, I said, please do not identify yourself because I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I just need to make a point to the group. And so I told the group, I said, by now you should be confused. By now you should have questions. By now you should be uncertain. That's why we're here, so that you can learn. I said, but once you learn this system and get familiar with it, you're now open to all federal grants.
Mm-hmm.
You can go there now. You won't even have to ask me because you walked this way before.
Not
Right
all.
now, you've never been this way before. But after we've gone through it, you'll recognize it. You'll know what every button means. You'll know how to prepare it. You'll know why to do things. You'll know the system.
Right.
And so here we were in a group of people that had never been this way before. And because they followed the system, they got to a finish line.
Thank you, Lord.
Now turn to John chapter 4. Are y'all there yet?
Yes, sir.
John chapter 4.
Mhm.
Let's let's start with number 4.
Verse 4.
Yeah, actually, and I need some water. So start with chapter 4, verse 4,
Mhm.
and read down to verse 24. Now I'm going to interrupt you, but
Okay.
just go ahead and read that.
Okay, yes, sir. And he must needs go through Samaria. Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Joseph's well was there. Jesus, therefore, being wearied with his journey, said thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus saith unto her, give me to drink, for his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Jesus answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman saith unto him, sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Jesus answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this well shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. The woman saith unto him, sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Jesus saith unto her, go, call thy husband and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Jesus said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, my God, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. It in that saidest thou truly. The woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Jesus saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him.
All right, let's pause there. Actually, what verse are you at?
23, I was about to read 24.
Yeah, let's go down to 26. I want to get to the part where she drops her water pots.
Yes, sir. 24. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirits and in truth. The woman saith unto him, I know that Messiah is come, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Jesus saith unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. And continue, the water pot. And upon this came his disciples and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou? Or why talkest thou with her? The woman then left her pot and went her way into the city and said to the men, Come, see a man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not thee the Christ? Then they went out of the city and came unto him.
All right. So this story, this conversation is about old systems and new systems. Based on what you heard, I'd like for you to unmute and tell me some of the systems that you heard or that you heard in this story. One system was a way of getting water. One system was that um, it is normal to get water during the morning time. Right now, it's the middle of the day, so she's getting water at a different time. What other systems do you see the way that Jews and Samaritans interact? That was a system, and that system was being broken. What other systems did y'all see in this story? Anybody?
She had all her men, her 5 husbands as a resource.
Yeah, her 5 husbands. That was a system. Clearly, that was a system of how she lived. All right. Who else? Did you see any other systems? Did you hear her say, "We used to worship like this," and y'all say we worship like that? That's systems. All right. We had a system for worship. There was a social system of how men and women interacted. There was a system for how to get water. There was a system for how Jews and Samaritans interacted. There was a system for how she handled life.
Yeah.
Anybody else? And so here in this conversation, Jesus is introducing to her a new system or new systems. Anytime that God gives you instructions, what he's really giving you is a new system. And the struggle that happens in your brain is that I'm already accustomed to and comfortable with the old system. But God promises to expand you and enlarge you. And you said you wanted enlargement. So if he's going to enlarge you, then you have to allow him to implement for you a new system. When when Ray Kroc bought McDonald's from the McDonald brothers, he liked what they had, but what they had was not optimized. They had a big restaurant-like menu, and what he wanted to was a simple menu that would produce the same hamburger over and over again every single time. What he implemented was a new system. And then as that new system grew, we began to understand franchising in a different way. And then when he wanted to grow the franchising, he implemented a model that did not prioritize the restaurant itself, but prioritized the real estate. And so he came up with a business model wherein McDonald's is not in the hamburger business trying to compete for the best hamburger. They really are in the real estate business. Their strength is in real estate, not in hamburgers. Their hamburgers are not even the best. Nobody goes to McDonald's because they have the best hamburgers. They go to the McDonald's because they have a predictable system. Because whether you're in Alaska or Timbuktu or New York City, you're going to get the same fries. You're going to get the same hamburger. When the woman at the well talked to Jesus, she had never been this way before. So Jesus introduces to her a new system of worship, a new system of relationship with God. Now, there are three short things that you need to do when you've never been this way before. The first thing that you have to do is follow God's presence and direction. This woman showed up at the well at the appointed time because she was following God's presence and direction. Even when she didn't know she was following God, she was following him. And y'all, I want you all to stop beating yourself and browbeating and beating yourself over the head because of the disobedient acts that you did in the past. Yes, they were wrong. No, they were not profitable. No, they were not helpful to you. Yes, you ended up stumping your little toe or bumping your head or whatever the case might be. But God navigated you through that place so you could come to a certain place and to be in a certain position. All right. God navigated this woman for whatever reason that she was disappointed of going to the well in the morning with the other women. And she got disappointed and she was upset about it and her feelings were hurt about it. Her feelings needed to be hurt so that she could decide to go to the well at a different time. How many times have your feelings had to be hurt so that you can go a different way? I remember and I told you all when I was a kid, I talked a lot of junk. I had a bad attitude. And my stepfather said to me, when did you start bringing B's into this house? Because I had made all A's. And I said to him, I said, well, when did your son start bringing B's? Or do you even know what your son brings on his report card? And then a fight ensued. Oh, well, God bless you. but but after that, and I don't know what kind of dad he was to his son before that. I don't know how he dealt with child support and the child's mother and stuff like that before that. I don't know, but I do know that after that there was a very real presence of him doing things. Even though his son was far away, there was a real presence of him doing things for his son after that. Now, I'm not suggesting that I was the instrument of the Lord with my bad attitude. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that sometimes you will be offended in the right way to make the right change. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Every time you're offended is not to hurt you. Some offense. God help me. Sometimes you need to be offended in order to change. You know that. If everybody is celebrating you all the time, when do you get challenged? You need to look back at it like Job and say, God, God meant for me to go this way. God meant for me to go this way. I had to suffer affliction in that way. It was good for me that I had been afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes. An object at rest stays at rest until a greater force moves it, provokes it, offends it. I remember I just sold this Acura truck, and the Acura has had an oil leak, and so I was trying to get the oil can open, but my strength. I couldn't open it. I'm like, man. So I told Sebastian, said, Sebastian, come open this. And he couldn't open it. And then I told the guy I was selling to, I said, this thing is really tight. Can you open it? And then he couldn't open it. I'm like, you know what? I went and got a hammer. And I got the hammer and tapped it, tap, 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 because the hammer could give it more pressure than I could. I took the tool called a hammer and I tapped it, tapped it, tapped it, and the thing opened it. What I did, I offended the cap so I could open it. There are some things that have to offend you in order to open you. I offended the current position. I offended the current position. Tap, tap, tap. I wasn't trying to break it. I was trying to open it. And what God does, he gives you enough pressure to turn your head without breaking your neck. Do you get it? So follow God's presence and stop giving credence and credit to the devil. The devil did not lead you down a path. God's providence led you there. Don't give credit to the devil. What the devil meant for evil, God meant it for good. The next thing you have to do is sanctify yourself. Set yourself apart from everybody else. Set yourself apart from everybody else. Do what other people will not do. Work when other people are sleeping. Build when other people are resting. There's this video called The Parable of the Pipeline. And two guys, one strong, one weak. Two guys were building pipelines to bring water to the village. And both of them were serious about bringing water to the village, and both of them got paid to bring water to the village. And they both wanted to bring more water because if you bring more water, you get more money. Well, the big Brutus guy, he just started working day and night, bringing water. He brought one pail of water, brought two pails of water at a time, three pails at a time, did everything he can, got water everywhere, bringing water, bringing water. And the skinny guy, the brawny guy, weak guy, he decided to build a new system. He built a pipeline, and so the strong guy was getting more money every day. The weak guy was not getting money every day because he was building a new system. So while the other guy was bringing more water, the other guy was working on his system. And so at nighttime, the strong guy was at the bar drinking, enjoying his extra money. And at nighttime, the system maker was building a system. Then he would go to sleep. So one had more money faster. But then the pipeline was finished. The new system was finished. And when he turned on the water started pouring down continuously, and he had money without working. And then the big strong Brutus guy, he only made money when he worked. And so the principle of this was it showed how the skinny guy worked, it built the system and worked it. So now money came continuously. And the other guy, he did it the hard way. He didn't implement a new system. He just tried to do more with his old system, and his body broke down. He was weak, and then he ran out of money. What I'm saying to you is that if you can employ a new system, you're going to move into the place in this new system. You'll be able to flow in a way that you've never flown before. You'll make money in a way that you've never made money before. You'll handle relationship in a way that you've never handled it before. You'll enjoy life in a way that you've never enjoyed it before. And while other people might seem like they're outpacing you now, they might seem like they're out making money over you now. They might seem like they're outdoing you now. If you just stick with the system that God told you to build, you will have more in the future than you had in the past. But in order to do that, you have to separate yourself. Stop trying to be like everybody. And that is a simple statement that people agree with. But when you get down to the nitty gritty, there are lots of people that enjoy an emotional paycheck. An emotional paycheck is a paycheck that only feeds your emotion. It does not feed your bank account. It does not feed your brain. It does not feed your knowledge base. It does not feed anything except your emotion. It makes you feel good. And those days are important. Those days are important. But every day, you can't go for the emotional paycheck. Some days, most days, you should be working on your system. In order for you to outdo what you did before, you're going to have to sanctify yourself, separate yourself, do what other people won't do, think what other people won't think, go where other people won't go, say what other people won't say. All right. The last thing that you have to do is actually step out on faith. All right. Your obedience activates God's power every single time. It is obedience that activates God's power. No matter how much you think you believe God, if you don't act out the obedience, you don't really believe. The reason I believe that this chair can hold me is because I'm sitting in it. The reason I believe that that the way I know, or the way you know, I believe that this computer is connected to the internet is because I'm talking to it. If you believe, what will you do? If I believe it, then I'm going to complete it. If I believe it, I'm going to submit it. If I believe it, I'm going to do it. Because I believe it, I'm going to say it. Because I believe it, I'm going to depend on it. Because I believe it, I'm going to activate it. Because I believe it. So what is a system? A system is a series of instructions. And God always gives systems to his people. As long as the earth remains, seed, time, and harvest, that's a system. Tithe and offering, that's a system. Prayer is a system. The way you use these kingdom tools is a system. System brings order to your life. Systems bring predictability to your life. Systems activate faith, and faith without works is dead. Systems are the work that you do in order to walk in the faith that God has you to walk in. God replaces systems whenever He needs to. When He was in, when Israel needed water, He told them speak. He told Moses speak to the rock. That was a system. Then later on, they needed water again, and God changed the system. He said, "Talk to the rock." God will upgrade your system. When he upgrades your system, he's upgrading your life. He replaced the old covenant with the new covenant. That is the old system being replaced with a new system. And in John chapter 4, he was replacing the old system of worship with a new system of worship. An old way of interacting with a new way of interacting. Every new path that God gives you requires obedience. And he provides systems for every single season. All of that was my introduction. This is the message. The world is changing. And if we are going to have the advantage, we are going to have to change with it. The faster we change, the faster we benefit from it. We, Leviticus, have a rich history, a very, very rich history, a very rich history that I'm very proud of. But I never want our history to become our goal. As vibrant, as amazing as it was, it is our history. It's not actually our legacy. Our legacy are the things that history showed us about ourselves that can be applied year after year. It is our history, it's not our legacy. Our history is not only that we struggled together. Our history is not that we struggled together to get one building. Our history is that we struggled together to get one building. Our legacy is we know how to struggle together. Do y'all see the difference? Our history is that we went to a gas station and saw a miracle at the gas station. Our legacy is that we see miracles in real time. Our history is that we prayed on one side of town and affected change on another side of town and got the report in the middle of service. That is our history. Our legacy is that when we pray, things change. Do you see the difference? Our history is a contained event. Our legacy is a plumb line that crosses time. Our legacy can be seen in every generation. A generation is 20 years. We have crossed a generation, and we crossed that generation together. For some people that saw this house in its former glory, they mourn. And new folks don't understand why they are mourning. Why are they not excited? Because we saw this house in its former glory. If you think that what we see today is amazing, some folks that's been around forever say, you should have saw us back then. But y'all, that's our history. Our legacy is that stuff that was there in our history, but that stuff that's timeless. So whether it's Altamont or Clay Street or Lombardy, those were moments in time. They're part of our history, but our legacy goes farther. Our legacy, our history is over. Our legacy is not over. Okay? Jesus told Peter, take your net, cast it on the other side. I preached this to you all maybe 2 years ago. And ever since then, every lesson I've taught, every prayer I prayed, every prophecy I've given, every idea that I've tried to translate has been trying to knock down that wall and to apply that lesson. That one, I've been doing one thing. In all of these approaches, all the kingdom tools, all the discussions on praise, the discussion on worship, on prayer, on giving, all of it, everything was me trying to attack this one thing to bring us out of our history and for us to carry on our legacy. And so for Leviticus, our history is rich, but we have a responsibility to the future. And that responsibility is to be to today's world what we were to yesterday's world. Our goal is still to impact nations and change a generation with a message and a pattern that takes other people to higher dimensions of life in God, releasing fire to all we meet. And we are meeting new people today. And if we're meeting new people, we're supposed to be releasing new fire. And for some of you, your fire may have gone out. And maybe it's because you didn't know. Maybe it's because you hadn't been this way before. And maybe it's because you haven't yet mastered your new system. But I want to tell you what we're building so that you can know how this all comes together. So that you no longer mourn over the history, but you learn from it. And you can use the history as lessons so you can know how we're going to do what we're going to do. Leviticus has never been limited to one location. In our history, you saw how we moved from one physical location to another. Because of technology, we're able to minister and serve and support without any location at all. Even though we have the building on Parham Road, if we did not have the building, we would still be a spiritual family. Now, we have a contract on that building for a few years, and I don't want anybody to overthink it, but I do want you to know that even without the building, we are a church family, and we are a church without walls, and we can prove it. And so we don't have, ushers and greeters in every Sunday service like others. This is our system, and there are millions of people out there that want to be part of it. So just like we mastered that system, we've never been this way before, but I'm ready to master this system. If we're going to be online, let's do it in an amazing way. If we're going to broadcast, let's really broadcast. If we're going to do it, let's do it. And like Ike told Tina, this time I want you to put some stank on it. Yesterday, as they talked about the different things, they said, out of all the business, which business did Apostle not do? Because I've done so many things. They came up with one of the questions Donovan asked was all the outreaches, and they talked about the Club Inferno. They didn't mention the flea market, but we did flea markets. We cut coupons and sold coupon books or handed out coupon books. And when we did coupons, there were actually members of us that went to the dumpster where people, not actually in the dumpster, but went to the dumpster where people would throw away their newspapers. And in the middle of the night, we would go and rummage through the newspaper and pull out coupons. But are any of you here? Any of you did that with us? And we put together coupons and give them to people. We cleaned out houses when an apartment needed to be flipped. We clean the apartment and get the money and give it to the church. Everybody was there. We cleaned out apartment. We raised the money for the church. We doing this to win souls. We walked out and went to the clubs and we took over the streets and we had balloons down at the corners and all kind of crazy things. What were we doing? We were mastering that system. But this is where we are. Let's master this system. Now, this does not mean that we will abandon being in person. That is important. It's important for us to be in person. We're going to enhance the in person. We're going to enhance it and make it better. And we're going to do that using this technology as a tool. All right. So I want it's 10. I need to stop at exactly 10. We will continue on Tuesday. What I want is I want to hear I want to hear right now your revelation, your ideas, your questions, your feedback, your aha moment, your deliverance, your application of this word. That's what I want to hear right now. On Tuesday, we're going to go even farther so that I can explain to you the full picture of where we're going and how we're going to get there because we have never been this way before. We'll hear from a few of you now.
Hey,
Good morning,
Apostle.
Apostle. Oh, you go ahead.
Hello.
Go
Uh-huh.
ahead.
Hey, good morning, Apostle. Good morning, everyone. When I got on here today, um, I've been thinking about um the years that, since I've been in Leviticus,
Mm-hmm.
that the prophecy that people have been telling me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the last couple of, I'm sorry if I cry,
You fine.
apologize. It's been the last couple of years that I've been trying to remember what God had told me. Everything just been so overwhelming
Mm-hmm.
because I'm tired of living in masses of survival.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even I'm taking this survival with my marriage,
Mm-hmm.
my children, my job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired, right? So
Yeah.
I just been thinking about the very first thing that God told me. And Apostle, I cannot remember. And I'm scared, to be honest. I'm so scared. I don't want to love him so much. And
Mm-hmm.
I know he loved me because he got me through so much.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. So like when I come to church, my mind it be some good information, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I listen to Bible study, it be some good information. But like you said, I get so overwhelmed and I'm like, wow, I'm not attaining this information. What is going on with me? Like, why I don't feel this connection no
Mm-hmm.
more with God? Like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I'm trying to get that feel
Mm-hmm.
from when I first that fire for God. And I
Yeah.
miss that so
Yeah.
much. And I'm trying to think about everything he told me so I could live in my purpose, but I just don't remember no more. I just don't.
Yeah. 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 This, oh man, this is exactly what I'm talking about. What I'm gonna tell you first what happened, so that you can understand. Number one, you didn't do anything wrong.
Mhm,
All right. Number two, what happened was you you outgrew that old way of
mhm,
growth. And so you need something different now
mhm.
because life is different now. You have more trial, more tribulation. You have different things going on now than you had years ago. You get what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Uh-huh.
And it could be harder to hold on and feel victory right now because you got a whole bunch of day and not a lot of time. You get what I'm
Uh-huh. Yes.
So you need something different. This is why we have to upgrade our system. This is why we have to upgrade our system. Number one, you didn't do anything wrong. Number two, this is an example of you growing, and you just need something more. And just to be honest, normally when people feel what she's feeling, they say, "I can't grow at this church anymore. I need to go to another church."
Yes, and I thought that, but I knew it wasn't Leviticus. I knew it was
Mhm.
something that was up inside of me because it been plenty of times like, okay, it must be, when people mention, church, I'm like, well, maybe I need to try a new church. And I'm like, that's not how I'm feeling. I'm just feeling like
Yeah,
it's something that needs to grow because if I go to a new church, I'm still gonna feel the same way. It don't
absolutely.
it don't matter. And that's why that's why I can't leave Leviticus, because I know what's up in Leviticus. I know what's up inside of us, and I know what gifts, and I know what we can do, right? So
Absolutely.
me going to another church is not going to help what I need. It's not going to help because I already know
Yeah.
what my foundation, and I already
Right,
know
right,
what
right.
what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to
And
get.
what you need is on the inside. No matter where you go, you got to deal with you.
Yes,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
That's it. That's it. Like when you was talking, I was crying so bad because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm right
And
here and
so
I'm trying to.
the thing that you need, and the thing that you need, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying that it's so many people out here that I needed help, and I'm just thinking about the people in my mind. I just broke down because
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm right here trying to survive, stay above water, and I'm thinking of so many people that need this that I have, and I'm like, I can't even stay above water right now because it's so many it's so much
Yeah.
that I want to do.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying,
Yeah.
I just need to get back on that right path because I can't keep on living on survival mode. Because that's how
Absolutely.
I've been living on survival
And you
mode
get
for a
tired of
while.
that old system. I
And
don't
I'm
want to live
tired.
like that no more.
Yeah. Hmm.
Absolutely. So the thing that you need, and the thing that most people need, um, in this specific example, is a deeper level of community,
Yes.
a deeper level of community. And I'm talking about getting together in person,
Hmm.
not just church service, but get together and work on a project together. If if you have, if you want to do a braiding party, then you can say, you know what, we're going to have the braiders all come to Leviticus, and we're going to have all the little girls in the neighborhood come and get their hair braided for free, or anybody
Hmm.
that's on Section 8, come get your hair braided for free. We'll buy the hair, and we'll just ask, are there any braiders that's willing to donate their time? We might give them a little bit of money just to say thank you, but they know that it's not your normal fee. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Everybody
Yes.
come get their hair braided. Can y'all imagine what that would look like? Can y'all imagine what that would look like? And then, because Tamisha, you do hair, we could meet some of your friends, and you'll have a platform for them to meet us, and then you could meet strangers. You get what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
people just hang out, like that kind of stuff. When you are giving of yourself, you actually grow, and life has more meaning and purpose. These are the types of things we have to think about and do. And that does not happen in a traditional Sunday morning service. That happens when people get together and they can express God and all the good things that God, they can share their testimonies, not in the stand up and give your testimony in church way, but the give your testimony to an individual and have
Hmm.
a conversation. You get what I'm saying? Now,
Yes.
if we did that, who would be willing to help? Who would be willing to
Hmm.
do something like that? Whether it's the hair for
Yeah.
little girls, or hair for grown women, or hair for women that live in the shelter, whatever it is.
Okay.
Oh, who said I can't braid? Robin, you can't braid?
Apostle, listen, don't.
I'm glad you're not ashamed to say that, and I don't want to introduce shame, but you can't braid.
I mean, looking at me in that tone of voice, Apostle. I mean,
I can braid.
you can braid. I can't braid. I'm the youngest. I never had to learn how, so I just, Tamisha braids my hair. Kiana braids my hair. I don't have to do it.
Okay.
But that's okay. You see, my Maddie always tight.
Yeah, yeah,
Pay
yeah.
for a braid,
We get
Apostle.
it done.
You got that right.
We get it done.
You got that right.
But yeah, and the and Tamisha also, and it's for everybody to know, prophecies are time bound. Okay, so God will give you an instruction and a revelation, and that will go however far it's supposed to go, and then you need another word from the Lord. Bible says, "Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth from the mouth of God." Okay, that proceedeth means that there are words proceeding. There's always another word. So there's a word that drew you to Leviticus, but there's also a word right now for where you're going in life. Okay. There's a word
Okay.
where you're going in life. There's one word that brings you to this point. Then there's another word that carries you to the next mile marker, the next kind of rest area, if you will. With this woman
Okay.
at the well, she had enough direction to get to the well, but then Jesus gave her more direction, and that was the new system, the new direction. Okay,
Okay.
and so the word of the Lord for you, number one, it's important for you to know that there will be a turnaround. You're not going to live in just enough and not enough. You're not going to live in chaos too much longer. In fact, this season of chaos is going to be replaced, and it's going to change. It is absolutely going to change. Okay,
Okay.
I'm
Yes, I
telling you,
believe it.
it's going to change. Um, just endure hardness as a good soldier, and you've been holding on. But the one thing that you haven't been doing that you're going to need to do more of, and I heard a little bit of it while you were talking, think more about who you're going to help with what you've been through.
Okay.
About who you're going to help with what you've been through. Sometimes we get so full. It's almost like those women that breastfeed. Their milk gets full. You know what I'm saying? And it
Yes.
hurts, and they wake the baby up because I have to feed. I don't care if you're hungry or not. It's time for you to get up because you have to feed. I'm so full. So, Misha, you have learned so much. You've gained so much. You've prayed so much. You've studied so much and tried so much that right now you're full. And this is not the season for you to receive a whole bunch. This is the season for you to give a whole bunch.
Okay.
And giving, it seems so difficult to give when you really don't have,
Mm-hmm.
but you have more than you give yourself credit for. You are
Yes.
wise than you give yourself credit for. And God wants you in this season to think about how you're going to give and to start that. Give your wisdom, give your perspective, give your support, give your energy, whether it's financial or any other way. Whatever God puts on your heart to give to individuals to help them, don't expect anything from them.
Okay. Yes.
Position yourself as a leader and a giver. All right.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the word of the Lord for you for this season.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Apostle, hi, this is Katrina. So we are traveling. I just want to show several things that you said. So if I can just expound off of this when you talked about new system. So last night, so I don't eat meat like that. And I knew that if I got to the bar that I can get some of the shredded salmon that they had. But I noticed that they didn't have crackers like they do here in Asheville at this Brazil. So I asked different waiters. They said, yeah, let me just try and see. So Stacy, when she came, I said, well, do y'all have crackers on the bar? She said no. And so she got to thinking. She said, I don't have crackers, but what I can do is take some of that sourdough and go and toast it for you. And so that was my cracker. So to me, that was a new system, right? And
Mhm.
so not only that, so that was a done deal. So thank you for that revelation. The second thing is we're talking about new system. It makes sense to me now why when I first came up under you and I said, why am I not getting it? Because I was still trying to think from my old place. I was still trying to operate from my old church system when you was bringing a new church system that I had to adapt to and change my mind with. My point in case, or my case in point,
Mhm.
how will we expand here in Asheville to a place like, so say like my new job, like you got your head, right? But
Mhm.
my office and my place of where I work at, they call it a satellite yard.
Mhm.
So Levitica is the head, right? How
That's
can
right.
we expand to make something like
Satellites.
a satellite here in
Mhm.
Asheville, North Carolina, if that makes sense?
Absolutely. It makes perfect sense. You're absolutely, and what you're doing right now is prophetic. I'm going to teach you a super quick lesson. What you're doing right now is prophetic. You are trying to put words to the image that came in your brain when I spoke. You follow me, Katrina? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You're trying to describe the picture, and you're pulling the words that you have to describe the picture of something you haven't seen before. It's like, is it kind of like this? Is it kind of like this? How can we do that? And you're pulling words, right?
Yes.
To try to describe it. Y'all, that is exactly what you're supposed to do. That is a prophetic skill. If I were teaching a school of the prophets, that's one of the lessons. I would tell you, describe what you see using as many words as possible. Describe what you see, and you would grab for all the vocabulary you have. And eventually, what will happen is you will describe what you see, and then I will compare that to what I said. All right. And so you're right on point. This is how you grow prophetically. Describe what you see. Talk about what you see. All right. Now, put that aside, to answer your question, when I first when I first left New Mount Olive, actually before I left New Mount Olive, when Jamila is Elder Jamila here?
Yes, sir.
Years ago in Leviticus, years ago, God gave us the revelation that we would have how many cities?
48.
48 cities. And I think Lestar did a YouTube video of all 48 cities. And the question was asked, how are we going to go to 48 cities? And I said, all 48 cities are not going to be churches, but they'll all be satellites. Here you are, Katrina, describing in 2025 what we talked about years ago, and you were not there. And I didn't use the word satellite today, but you saw in the spirit what we talked about 20 years ago. And Jamila has always worked in the helping profession in mental health. And Marlon at the time was not specializing in relationships. He was doing something else. I think music producing. Um, and we were Leviticus leaders, and we were talking. And I said, well, what will happen is Jamila will be in a city doing her thing. Marlon will be in a city doing his thing. Somebody else will be in their city doing their thing. And at the point, and they will each master what they're doing and lead in that environment. And they will build communities there. And at the appointed time, everybody brings their community together under one voice. That's how we do it. So when Lakeisha asked me my idea about her doing the wellness stuff, and then she asked me about her journal, and then she asked me about her hiking, and then she asked me about her self-care. She was asking me about bits and pieces of the puzzle. I already knew. So that's how I'm able to answer y'all's questions because I already saw the vision. What I'm doing in time, I'm approving the pieces that you bring to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Does everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what the way that we do it is in Asheville, if Lakeisha has a self-care and and a wellness program, everybody that's physically there should get with her and help grow it, help push it, volunteer
Mhm.
for it, make it work. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody, whether you want to or not, because that is part of the vision, you should do it. And that is your way of gathering. And if in Richmond, Tomisha has a monthly braiding party, everybody that's physically there should push it, recruit for it, show up for it, enhance it, make it great. If you're in Vegas, you should get with Pastor Marlon about relationships. Matter of fact, Pastor Marlon, he called me a few weeks ago, and I don't know why he said this, but it was important for him to say it. He said, Apostle, you do know that TRM is part of Leviticus. I said, well, I know that you started it, and I remember that you said you didn't want to pastor anymore, that you wanted to do this. So I know that you are. He said, no. He said, I just felt the vision to do it differently. He said, but we're part of Leviticus. We're an extension. Like I see myself as the rest of your vision. Um, I was like, okay, well, come on, brother. And so that means if you're in Vegas, you're part of this. If you are struggling with relationship, you're supposed to be able to connect with that community. And if you're not physically there, connect with them online. They have lots of free gatherings. We are a big web. We are impacting nations. It's just not in a single local church. It is a new system.
So that makes sense, Apostle. So let me ask you this, and I was gonna call you like maybe sometime this week coming because God had given me a thought and an idea, which He do often. I just don't know what to do with them sometimes. But He gave me the thought and idea about having a support group. I know different people have support groups like therapists and different things of that nature, but that was a thought that He gave me, even
Mhm.
how to begin to move towards, to get it going, to lift it up, this, that, and the other. So I was
Yep.
gonna call
Yep.
you.
Yep. Absolutely. And in Asheville, we have buildings. I have a coffee shop there. You can do anything you want there. Keisha can have events there. You can have events there. When the Black Wall Street building was up, you can do anything. We have a building in Richmond. We have space. We have ideas. Do them. Bring them. This is our ministry. This is our new system. Now, Katrina, for you, the support group is the heart of what you want to do, and I want you to practice this. This is how you get yourself you sharpen up prophetically. Describe what you see. Describe it in as many words as possible. There are times that you in Bible class or even in our talking, you'll say, "I heard God say," and then you'll say a phrase. That phrase is incomplete. What you want to do is stay there and get the rest of it. You have
Okay.
to build that muscle. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you an example now. So God says to you support group. So you know support group, but you haven't said the rest of it yet. So as your leader and as your teacher, I'm going to give you the rest of it. I'm going to give you the rest of the sentence, all right? So
Okay.
yes, it is for Katrina to do a support group. My wisdom says for Katrina, but she does not need to do a traditional support group because Katrina also needs support at times. And so you don't want to get into a circular of people complaining about their stuff. We need an object that moves people out of needing support into giving support. So what Katrina needs is a basket making group that she will do at Grind, and she will announce to people, come and let's make baskets for Mother's Day, or come and let's make baskets for Father's Day, or come let's make baskets for Grandmother's Day, or come let's make spring baskets, or whatever reason we're making let's make baskets for the homeless. Let's make baskets for the people that's in domestic violence shelter. And when they all come together and they bring the items to make the baskets, they're talking and having conversation and writing notes and cards for the people, and they're praying over the baskets and they're building the baskets. Then they donate the baskets to the people.
I see what you're saying.
That is a clear vision. Do y'all see?
Yes.
And you can do it for free, and you can also do it for money later.
Yes, sir. I see what you're saying. I
So
got
now
it.
these baskets, these are not just, I felt anointing right there. These baskets are not just any basket. These baskets are a Trojan horse that you think you're getting a basket, but you really just got a glory bomb. I don't think y'all hear me. Y'all don't get it.
I
Yes,
hear
sir.
you.
I got
Don't
that one,
get it.
Apostle.
Y'all
I hear
don't get
you.
it. Y'all don't get
Woo!
it.
That's Raleigh. That's
Y'all think
yeah.
y'all just go to a church. You're not part of a church. You're part of a movement. You're part of a movement. There are examples of this model.
Mm-hmm.
Examples of this model. Um, hold on, did anybody else have anything before I wrap up?
Apostle, I have something to say, but you can go ahead.
There are examples of this model. Um, one of them is on YouTube. There are lots of examples. There is one that I know of. Um, I do not like this person, but that's okay because he doesn't have to be liked by me. All right. But the model is a kingdom model, and it is a timely model. I disagree with a lot of his ways. I disagree. I just want to put that out there. I'm not challenging his spirituality or his wisdom or anything. Um, but the model of what he's doing is a godly model, and it's kingdom, and it's timely. And it's Larry Reed. Um, Larry Reed is a blogger, journalist. I don't know how he categorizes himself, but he was a pastor, and during COVID, he went totally virtual, and he never went back to the building. What ended up happening is he built his spiritual community online, and so he has service online. He has teachings online, and they have services online. But he does a lot of gossip. You know what I mean? Things that are trending. He talks about them. And that's the part I don't like. I'm not a gossiper. I don't even like to talk about risque things like bad news and stuff. I'm not that type of person. But he is, and that's what he does. But the ministry model works because he's able to touch people all over the world and gather them in one community. My mentor, Derek Harper. Is Bruce here? My mentor, well, my business coach, Derek Harper. He built the business community that we call the Free Hive, and we met online just through Facebook. The group grew to 60,000 people, and then he made a post. He said, "Hey, y'all want to get together in person?" And everybody said yes. And so he did a conference. 2,000 people showed up. In the conference, we were talking about growing your business, but you can't talk about growing business without growing your person. So here we are talking. His pastor shows up, William Murphy, and he speaks. And here we are in the business conference, and revival breaks out. I mean, folk running, shouting, jumping, speaking in tongues. We praying over our businesses. And I looked at Bruce, and Bruce at me. He's like, "This is it. This is the picture. This is the kingdom model where people, and this is not only what we see today, but in the Bible, the folks that Jesus touched, the folks that were touched by the prophets, they were not touched inside the church service. When you read the Bible, you don't see very many church services. Those instances are not church services being narrated, they are life situations being described. And because somebody of God, a man of God, a woman of God, impacted that person in life, they changed and they made life better for people. I am a church boy. I am not against the four walls of church. I'm just saying we're bigger than that. I'm saying we're bigger. And to whom much is given, much more is required. All right. Okay. Kiana, do you have something?
Yes, Apostle, I just want to thank you for the message today and just listening to everyone's testimony. It's really helped me put together pieces. I dreamt about this entire service. As you began to teach, I was like, I've heard this before. And I was like, I've heard this before, but I know I haven't heard this before.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it was everything you said. I dreamt this entire thing. And you never taught this before. You
Never,
didn't tell nobody what you was talking about
ever.
ever. And so I was like, okay, God. So and you and I previously had a conversation about systems and in that conversation I told this whole thing about systems and upgrading systems. I'm fully aware of it. It's not new information for me, but I've been in a place where I've been struggling and
Mm-hmm.
I was crying because I felt Tanisha's heart. Like I've been wrestling, me and God have been going. Well, it's been me, God ain't wrestling, but back and forth
Yeah.
over the weeks. And since we had that conversation, because I'm like, you told me I'm in the right place. I don't want to do these things. Life is crazy. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, no new wine in old wineskins. I'm refining. I'm trying to figure it out. And God has been giving me little pieces, like you said, pieces to the puzzle to put together. How can I make my life better? How can I make what I do and how I
Yeah.
serve the people who, I promise God, I got to a point, Apostle, where I was like, I resent telling God yes
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It happens.
because it
It
is so
happens.
hard. Because it's so hard and it's so frustrating. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, God, but you know I love you.
Yeah.
And you know I want to do what I said I was going to do. You wouldn't have equipped me to do these things. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have the
Absolutely.
knowledge, the desire, or the skill if you hadn't given it to me because it doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make sense.
It's God.
I
I
much
promised you.
rather.
It's God. I promised you, and you promised me. And what's going on?
What's
Um,
going on? What's going
and
on?
it, the image that it gives me is when you're driving a straight drive a car, um,
Mhm.
and you're in first gear. Once you've gone as far as you can, you've gone as
You
far as
got
you
to
can. In first
shift.
gear. You got to shift.
You
You
got to
just can't
shift.
go any farther in the last gear. Even if you get up to third gear, at some point you got to shift, and that's just where it is. And honestly, you would not be ready to shift if you haven't reached the end of the last gear.
Yeah.
Many of you would not have been ready for what's next if you hadn't been as frustrated with what used to exist.
Yeah.
Discomfort will make you want to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Discomfort
So,
will, it'll make you upgrade. So on Tuesday, we're going to come, and I'm going to describe to you the next 50 years of what we're going to see in the church worldwide, and what we're going to do in Leviticus. I want everybody to be here. between now and then, of course, you're going to be praying. You're going to be seeing what God showed you, and you're going to come. You're going to hear the confirmation of what God has for us. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the future. I'm going to tell you what the church and the world is going to look like for the next 50 years, and you're going to see your place in it. So make sure that you're ready. Make sure you're prayed up so you can receive. All right.
Apostle, I had a quick question. I'm so sorry.
Huh?
As you transition, so when we first started, we were young, super unchurched. I loved it. It was so great, right? And so instruction was a little easier because we didn't know and we could see it, so we just did it, right?
Mhm.
We were super disciplined. But our new group, we are parents, we have education, we have this stuff, right? So we think we know. So between now and Tuesday, what do we do to stay unknown, right? Not unknown.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
get
Yeah. Position
like,
yourself to get ready.
yeah, thank you.
Get ready. So faith requires curiosity. All you have to do is bring your curiosity. If you already know what's going to happen, then come curious about the rest of the story. Because even if you know everything, the Bible say we know in part and prophesy in part. So right now, you do know more than what you knew at younger ages. Bring that and be curious about what else. Because the fact of the matter, the absolute fact is nobody has ever been this way before. None of you. Because time, it has never been experienced before. It has never been experienced before. So bring your curiosity. Um, Not only bring your curiosity, bring your questions. It's impossible for all of us to have the answers to all of our own questions. I don't have all the answers to my questions. And when I am, even the statement I made, I'm going to describe to you the next 50 years what's going to happen in the world and what's going to happen in the church. That is me putting myself out on a limb because I hear it by revelation, but I have not written it down. You get what I'm saying? And so because of that, I am curious about what God will show me and what God will say through me. Prophecy is actually my weakest gift, but I'm curious about the future. And so I make the statement, put myself out there. I trust God, what he showed me, and he's going to give me the rest of the story. I'm actually curious about what God has shown many of you and how that fits into the story. So even though we're grown, we know more, just bring your curiosity. You may have some answers. That's fine. Nobody has all the answers. Bring your curiosity. Bring your wonderment. What could the world look like? What could church look like? What could my life look like? Julian, he came to one of my classes, my business classes, and he did not he didn't make the progress that he had wanted to make. And so we were talking about it. Julian, are you here? We talked about it. And he said, Apostle,
I'm here.
while you were in class, I was thinking ahead about what you were saying and about what you were going to say. And because of that, I ended up missing what you said. Julian, can you describe that when you came to the $27
Yep.
class?
Yeah. So, we were in a business class, and Apostle. So the first thing is he was telling me some stuff that I didn't really want to, I didn't really want to do. So, I was trying to think ahead of what he was saying in order to, um, kind of foresee or foreshadow the outcomes of what he was saying to determine whether or not it was worth me doing it. And so as he was talking, I was thinking ahead to the results of what actions he was suggesting to determine if I would be satisfied with those results. Um, but as he was talking, I wasn't listening, obviously, because I was thinking ahead, missing the point in the first place of what he was saying. So I couldn't actually measure what was going to happen because I didn't know what he was saying. So I think that was how it went.
Absolutely. And so you have to bring the curiosity. So by the end of the class, he had not completed the task because he was thinking ahead about what I would say, maybe being too familiar. So that's what we're going to do on Tuesday. Bring your curiosity. If you have some answers, bring that and be curious about other people's answers. All right. All right. Anything else? All right, y'all. Well, we ask everybody to do something, whether your tithe is 10% or your offering, what God put in your heart, or whether you're sowing a seed into what God showed you as a new system for your life, the new system for your ministry, your outreach, how you're going to do things in the future. We just ask everybody to do something. All right. If anybody's in town and wanted to get together, go ahead and text me, and we'll coordinate that way. All right. God bless y'all. Bye.